make some noise. It's Bobby Duke and Jazza.
Yay! Yay!
Guys, thanks so much for coming on down.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
How's the weekend been for you guys?
Amazing.
It's been awesome. Hectic, but
Yours
awesome.
has been crazy.
Yeah, it's
Bobby's had his flight delayed and had to figure out accommodation in
Boston.
Boston.
I had to stay like over 24 hours in Boston. Had a weird, amazing, honestly, I have a friend that lives in Boston. He happened to have an apartment room open, picked us up from the airport. We stayed the night, so it ended up being actually pretty amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, trying to spin it positive.
Made it here and immediately bust his way to a meet and greet for hours.
I know.
And
I have my
collapsed in the hotel.
luggage in the back, and then I got 5 hours of sleep last night because of the time zone difference. But it's okay. I'm doing good.
Well, look, I mean, it's definitely been worth it because, look, all these people here to see you guys today, which is great.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
So good to see you.
Is there ever a moment where, like, this do you pinch yourself in these moments? Do you feel like, well, how have I got to this point?
Did you just pinch my butt?
Oh, yeah, the actual pinch.
I figured I'd pinch
have
you.
Often pictured Bobby Duke pinching my butt. No, absolutely not, to be honest. I can't speak for you, but I don't know. Like, I'm someone who craves attention, but then when I get it, I'm like, I don't deserve this. Why is,
No, I love it because it puts faces to all the, I know that you all exist and you're real, but to actually see people that appreciate what I do and watch the videos, and the comments are just comments, but then you see the people and it makes it all so much more real, and I appreciate all of you.
100%. I feel like I did a meet and greet. Yeah, we both did meet and greets. And I feel like when you get to meet someone and sign, and like it's this brief moment, but it really feels like there's a connection. Like, I feel like every person I meet, I feel like I've met them.
Yes.
The embarrassing thing is when you actually have and you forgot their name. That does happen.
Yes.
I apologize in advance. No, but honestly, it's like there's something that you share in common, which is vulnerability and creativity and just trying things and loving exploration. And I think there's just this immediate camaraderie.
It is weird because it is kind of one-sided because they know you better than you know them, but it's weird because of that, and they appreciate what you do. When I meet people, it does feel like I kind of already know them.
Yeah.
That's why it's so easy to like be like, hey, give a hug, and like, it's weird. It's like there's already that connection. It is pretty cool.
Well, I mean, talking of getting to know them, I think, let's not waste any time. Let's get to know everybody here, all right? Because they've got questions they want to ask you. They've got things they want to know.
Well, we got answers
about Jazza. Hopefully,
I think I know the responses to the questions that people ask. That's what's so easy about this. Yeah, I know the answers.
Do you?
I think.
I should have written down
some questions. Find out? Should we find out?
I didn't study for this.
So, do you not read the script?
No?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Give me a script?
Yeah, there's the plants that ask the pre-approved questions
ahead of time. God, no, I didn't get the memo.
Oh, great.
So he's being paid about 50 quid just to sit there, right? He's got no idea what's going on right now. So who would like to kick off this chat with, straight up down here. What's your name?
My name is Evie.
Evie, here we go.
Where do you guys buy your foam from?
Buy your...
Phone?
Foam.
Phone or foam?
Foam.
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 What kind of foam?
Like the foam you kind of sculpt out of, if you know what I mean.
Oh, like a polymer clay? Or
kind of, yeah.
Foam.
So we work with two kinds of foam, XPS and EVA.
Yeah, and then
they are both spelt with question marks. I just get the hardware store.
PVA foam.
So there's like an insulation foam. It's the stuff I use for like terrain.
Right.
That you carve
sort
with
of
knives
bulk
and stuff.
out the sculpture before you put the stuff on top.
Yeah, that's it. And then the other one, which
that's like a polystyrene.
I think that's the XPS foam. Can someone nod or shake their head?
Right.
Yeah, I'm seeing some nods. And then the EVA foam, I think, is like the cosplay stuff that you and it's also the floor mat stuff. You know the big puzzle pieces with the interlocking thing? Am I seeing nods or head shake? I'm seeing nods.
It's like a polyurethane foam, maybe.
I think
as well.
So.
Expanding foam.
Now that's have you worked with that much?
Not a lot. I did recently. I don't remember what for. Yeah, I don't work with tons of foam, but if I were to get foam, it's either sent to me by someone like Total Boat, which is a brand, and then or a hardware store.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
It seems like if you don't know the answers,
I just got more
will.
questions to your question.
I supply anywhere I can find the stuff I need is where I get it.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next? Yes.
Getting our steps in for the day.
Absolutely.
Has anything here inspired you to like create something new?
Man, we need that monitor
yes.
turned towards us. Did you hear it?
Oh, like, I feel like every time I'm a talker and I'm selfish, but I'm also self-conscious about overriding.
I can't
so we're going
hear.
to take in turns as to who answers first. Can
Okay,
we
but
do
I
that,
couldn't
please?
hear.
Oh, I can. She's asked if anything here has inspired you.
Oh,
is that correct?
yeah,
That is the right question.
I know
yeah.
that.
Okay.
I have the answer.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
me.
What is it? I didn't.
There's a polymer clay, a lady who does polymer clay sculpting over there. Have you guys seen that booth? It's like catty corner right over on the opposite side. If you haven't gone over there, I'm doing a plug. I don't remember the name of it, but she gave me her card. Oh, I think this is it. It's called Fiona Abel Smith Poly Originals. Has absolutely inspired me. The stuff she does is. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah, just unbelievable. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Cool. Mine is absolutely. I've already purchased like skin texture rollers from, there's like a clay store with like rollers and stuff. I've bought some like carving bits for like wood Dremel bits and like that Bobby Duke vouchers buy. So I'm like, I made the right decision.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And I'm really keen to get into CNC machining, but have never known where to start. And I'm like, oh my God, I can learn how to start that here. There's like the people who make the software for it right there and people who make the machines all around the place. So yeah, like absolutely.
Yes, everything is inspiring here.
Yeah.
You know, we've only been going for 10 minutes, and I'm already seeing there's a great reality TV show in the making between the two of you.
You reckon?
Yeah. Would we all watch
We're a
that?
bloody regular odd couple.
Yeah, I thought
if
so.
you know what I mean?
Right, who would like to go next? As I'm here.
This is for Jazza mainly. I know you've made kind of art out of candy, but now you've started making more sort of D&D miniatures and landscapes and whatever. Have you ever thought of making candy miniatures?
Candy miniatures. I haven't, but now I am. And that would be quite doable, you know, because all you need to do is make like a silicon mold or something, food-safe silicon. And I think there's candy that you could melt that would be quite hard, like Jolly Ranchers. I feel like you could melt those. I'm probably wrong. You can. I heard it. You can. You can melt Jolly Ranchers.
You can.
And they are delicious.
Oh yeah, I don't
Jolly
like those.
Rancher miniatures would be so good because.
Oh, Jolly Ranchers. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about Tootsie Rolls.
No. Ugh.
Okay, yeah.
No, that would be.
Yeah,
Like,
Jolly Ranchers
no.
are delicious.
They would
I've
melt.
seen, I think, like in France or Italy, they do hot sugar sculpture.
yes.
Where you like take it and when it's still hot and
Yeah.
pliable, and they like create birds and stuff.
I actually love that so much. I'm going to write it
like
down
glass
because
blowing.
all of a sudden I'm like, what if you like, what if you made like
Real-time
goblins and
brainstorm.
stuff?
Impact.
You're like, okay, if any of you were going to ask a question about where do you put your ideas, this is Monday. This is like a task keeping app. I have a whole bunch of boards. One is called Jazza Pre-Production. I have a weekly meeting with other people with ADHD where we sort of go through the random thoughts that any of us have written down, and I'm going to write down Jolly Rancher
That is a good idea.
goblin miniatures.
Should we put a name? Should we put a name
Because
to that
if you
idea?
beat them in D&D, you can eat them.
Yeah.
What is your
How
name?
cool is that? If you make the killing blow.
Catherine.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you.
There you go, Jazza. That was
Malcolm.
Catherine. Catherine who came up with
Thank
that.
you,
so,
Catherine.
let's move on over here.
All right, you get this one.
Okay.
Jazza.
Oh.
Sorry.
He's like, you
This
get
is
this
just
one.
a follow-up
Okay.
from the last question.
Okay.
If you do the goblins, are you going to do it on tabletop time as well?
Oh, it's a good collab. Absolutely.
Because love the role-playing.
That's so good
Channel.
to hear. Thank you so much. Every opportunity that we have to intermingle our passions, we will take. Absolutely.
All right, let's move back a little bit.
So when you're doing art, what's your favorite song to listen to while you're doing it?
Do you do music while you
I
create?
do. I listen to music, but I also listen to a lot of books on tape and podcasts. But if I had to pick a song,
Wait, did you say books on tape?
Oh, books. Yeah. Well, audiobooks. That shows. Okay. Well,
It's okay. I used.
I was
to do
born
the
in the
same.
80s.
So was.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 89, but still.
You're 89. You look great for 89.
I had books on tape too.
Yeah. The actual cassette.
So I can see where that came from.
Okay,
Yeah, you have to,
audiobooks.
pencil rewind.
But
Yeah.
anyways, music. I like metal. I'm kind of a metal head. So Tool, Meshuggah,
You look like
the
someone who
classics.
can really pull off a thrash.
Yeah.
Like the metal thrash.
Yeah, I actually was just at a Meshuggah concert and got into the mosh pit. I even have some. I don't think the bruises are still there, but yeah, it was very fun. It was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. Same,
Meshuggah.
pretty much. Yeah. Except the metal thing.
Right.
Audiobooks.
What do you listen to?
I
Soft
just
jazz?
finished telling Hansi and Martina that I have a weird, I'll listen to different playlists, usually based on what I'm working on. So if I'm working on something like whimsical, I'll listen to
Toto.
Yeah, literally, what's the name of the Miyazaki playlist or Pixar?
Like the soundtracks to
Yeah,
the
if I'm
Spirited
working
Away
on
or
something like Spider-Man or Venom, I'll listen to
Right.
Marvel. So it's usually thematic.
That's actually
If
kinda
I'm
cool.
really struggling to focus, my weird ADHD hyperfocus tool is the 1 hour loop of Bo Burnham's "All Eyes on Me" song that I will play for 3 or 4 hours straight. It's weird. It's a weird thing where my team after hour 3 will be like, should we go check on him? I can they can.
No, I have those songs where they never get old, where I
Yeah.
just play them over and over.
Oh, 100%. I did one painting. I wanted it to feel like the song that "Oh, the Horizon," the Lord of the Rings, the Into the West. I
don't
played it
know.
on loop for 4 hours
Wow.
while I was painting. So
I've
I'm
never
a bit-
actually done that. Tried to match the vibe of the music to what
Yeah.
I'm creating. That's cool.
Broken record syndrome.
Cool stuff. Right, next question over here.
Cool stuff.
What's your favorite video or project that you've ever done?
Can we answer for each other?
Oh boy.
Can
Sure.
I?
Yeah.
Because your Minecraft wood build was very cool, but also the tiny swords will never get old. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
I would say, because I love sculpture, and it's a more recent one, his amazing Thanos sand sculpture.
Ah, cool.
I just can't believe that was literally your first time.
Yeah, that was
Ever
the
with
first time
sand?
sand sculpting.
Have you
yeah.
guys seen that? He goes and does this competition amongst all these other pro sand sculptors and busts out this amazing Thanos. He's just as much a sculptor as he is a drawer painter. Yeah, seriously. And that's
I love this,
totally different way of thinking
yeah.
is for actual physical 3D art versus
Yeah.
insinuating or creating the illusion of 3D on paper.
Yeah.
It's totally different. And that's super impressive.
Oh, thank you.
I admire
Bobby.
you.
I'm gonna move closer. This is nice.
Cuddle
Sorry, what was the
sesh.
question? But what about our own? What would you say is your favorite you've made?
There's two different types. There's some that are more as emotionally important to me because they have just sort of a more personal aspect to them. I'd say the angel wings with the angel. It's like the burned angel with the crystal wings is the most sort of personally important to me. But as far as just overall fun project, I love miniature stuff. So any of my miniature projects, because I get to feel kind of like a giant, creating miniature.
god.
And you're into miniature stuff too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just something fascinating about seeing something and especially making it. But yeah, miniature stuff is probably the more just fun. What about you?
I forget most things I've made.
You have a lot more videos than I
I'm
do.
just, I'm just sort of looking back. I don't remember, I'm sorry. My answer is usually one of the last 4 things I've made. So,
Right.
The last thing the last video that I put out was this giant Doom Titan sculpture. I was really proud of that. It was 18 hours of sculpting.
I saw that too.
3D printed and that was fun. Because I was like put the lights in the eyes and
Yeah.
So that at the moment but probably something else if I remembered.
Yeah.
What got you into making things?
Wow. It's a slippery slope. I think you make something first a long time ago. And it's, there was probably some awakening thing when I was a child. It was like, oh, if I make this line, this shape on the paper, it's like a stick figure, and I can make this stick figure murder another stick figure, and that amuses me, right? So and I have memories of being a 8-year-old kid drawing these huge combat scenes of stick figures murdering each other on this one page. And it was just so enthralling and entertaining. I was like, I could amuse myself for hours. I think my obsession with stick figures murdering each other sort of made various stages of progress. I learned to animate because I could animate stick figures dying and murdering each other. It was really fun.
Wow.
So I think stick figures were murdering and death was my awakening. But then eventually, but what if it wasn't a stick figure murdering someone? What if and then eventually it's well, what if it was a giant sculpture murdering something?
Right.
So mainly murder.
Murder.
Is what got me into creating things.
Mine would be, I think, when I was younger, I was given a pocket knife, and I used to go on camping trips. And one of the things I would do is I would take a stick that I found, and I would whittle it into a dagger, and then I would give it to the other boys that were my friends there. And that gave me just a lot of joy giving, which is funny because a knife could murder. So it does have a small similarity.
Violence ingrained in
it. No, so it was just the ability to create something that other people really appreciated. It made me feel good, but also just to physically make something is so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's like an impulse. I can't not.
Yeah.
Art, making things. So it started like Jazza very young and just progressed from there. I just never stopped.
Yeah. I think everyone here shares that impulse, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is every single stall is a different thing of unlimited possibilities.
I know.
And it just unlocks your imagination. It's addictive.
Yeah, totally.
At what point did you both individually realize that, this could become your career? This could be an actual job?
For me, I actually never really, I always wanted to be a professional artist. That was my dream. But I knew that it was a really hard to break in to professional art in the traditional way. So, it was I want to do this. How can I make it a reality? So I just tried YouTube, and it happened to work amazingly. But that wasn't my initial goal. My initial goal was just sort of document what I was doing and put stuff out there that might give someone else some tips or tricks. And then eventually I was like, wait a minute, I could actually maybe do this for a job. And so I actually became a professional artist, just didn't go the normal route of doing the art galleries and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But you got into animation first, right?
I started with illustration. But then
you did some animation.
it's like it's like a chain.
Okay.
It's like one link leads to another. So my first link was drawing Dragon Ball Z characters,
right,
murdering each other. And then there was we had this high school project where we were told to animate 5 frames with PowerPoint, and I think I failed because I didn't deliver it on time because mine went to 200, 300 frames. I animated Mortal Kombat with stick figures murdering each other. But I figured out how to put in music and all this stuff, and that turned into an animation sort of obsession of bringing story stuff. So it was a ripple effect of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever done stop motion?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. It's not something I've gotten into, but it's something I've dabbled in a lot.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, it's just
it's
super
very
fun.
cool. Yeah. It's the sort of thing I love to watch.
Yeah. Same. Huge fan of stop motion.
I forget the question though.
You've answered the question.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When did you know that you could do art as a profession? I think.
Oh, you can? No.
Yeah. Wait. You can do that?
When did I? Yeah. I think for me it was the impulse has always been the first priority.
Right.
I didn't even know what it would end up looking like. There were times where I'll be a director or I'll be a musician. I actually didn't care about what the final picture was. All I cared about was that feeling of chasing where creativity could lead me and being free to follow that. It was really what I was pursuing.
And
I
then-
didn't know what it would look like.
And then it just kind of followed,
I think
able
so.
to monetize sort of what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think monetization is like one of those links in the chain where you sort of figure it out as part of this creative pursuit.
Yeah.
Because it's in its own weird way, it's a creative thing.
Yeah, you got to be creative on how to, make money, I guess.
Yeah.
Do what you love and, let the rest happen
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Like it.
Super fortunate.
Next question from this gentleman.
Thanks for starters.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I know, Bobby, you suffer with a lot of depression. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
You're putting on a good face today. Is it a face today, or is it?
No, I'm doing really well lately. Yeah. Like it with everybody, there's ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and I always kind of go through this routine of everything's a feedback loop with me. So if I'm doing poorly, then that I lose the motivation to keep moving, which makes me feel worse about myself, which then makes the motivation harder to come by. But then if I'm doing well, if I do like a big personal goal or some kind of overcome some sort of challenge, then I feel better, and then it's easier to get the motivation, and I'm in the positive feedback loop. So no, I'm actually doing well. I had kind of a dip a few months ago, but overall I'm doing much better.
It's interesting because I can really relate to that. And what's also interesting is, as creators, we have this impulse to share, and I've seen some of your videos where you share a bit about that, which is really inspirational. And I feel like, you've probably seen some bits where I do a similar thing where you sort of open up.
Yeah.
But also that's a moment in time that we're sharing.
Right.
And that moment is sort of frozen and it's there forever.
Right.
And there'll be people who come across one of those videos.
Right.
A girl yesterday, I'm not sure if she's here today, but she said she saw my Draw My Life video, which is I made like 8, 9, 10 years ago. And I had said I got bullied in high school, didn't have many friends. And she is in high school and doesn't have many friends. And she made me a friendship bracelet so we can be friends. And I was like,
awesome.
That's so sweet. And it's like, I'm not in that place right now, but because I shared that moment in time that she is in and could relate to, that really mattered to her, and it helped her. And I think that's what's a really nice part about how that's part of the feedback loop for us in opening up, that encourages us to be vulnerable because we can see that it helps people. Even if we, overcome those things and whether we're struggling with depression at the time or overcome it and we're feeling great, that's always there for people who are struggling to relate to and lift themselves from, or see that they can lift themselves through how we're sort of working through that with them.
Yeah.
I've just talked a lot, but I don't know.
No. I was going to say that I also have kind of a rule that if I'm not feeling it, and if I'm like really just not in a good place mentally or something, people are super perceptive. They can pick up on being genuine, and I try to not record when I am not doing well. So that's sometimes why there's big gaps. It's not just because of that. Sometimes it's just pure procrastination, or the project is just complicated and takes a long time. But, I try to, respect my audience and not put on just a fake front all the time. Now, I ham it up because, it's try to make it entertaining. But
that's a genuine part of you.
Right. No, it's
like,
absolutely.
Being goofy is like.
Ask Nicole, my wife. By the way, there's my wife, Nicole. Say hi.
Hello.
She's the one behind the camera a lot. If you ever see the camera being manned and it's not me and it's not on a tripod, it's Nicole. You should go follow her on Instagram at Duchess Nicole. She's a potter. Oh, by the way, the pots that you see me smashing in my videos are the rejects from the stuff that doesn't cut the mustard to be put up for sale.
Oh, no
she gives
way,
it to me, so I have like a little section of her mugs that I just smash against the wall.
That's super
I know,
cool.
it's perfect. Symbiotic
amazing.
relationship.
That's so good.
Yeah.
The follow-on question is, where do you put all the dead bodies? That's Jazza.
The dead bodies? Oh, yeah, from
The clues are in the videos.
the
You have to
clues.
dig.
Just touching on that point very quickly, I mean, obviously, quite a relatable topic for many people. I mean, Bobby, when you're in those dark places, do you have any tools or mechanisms that you use that you could share with us today?
Well, I literally I have therapy, so I have a therapist that I talk to. I try to get off my phone and stop looking at social media. That's a big thing because it's really easy to go down a dark sort of doom scrolling path, with all the crazy stuff that happens, and I tend to sit there and stew and get like frustrated with the world and things, and it's not good because it just makes me feel negative. So that's a big part, is just getting off my phone, like taking a social media break, fasting from it. Like if you notice, I used to post on Twitter a lot, and I just got off Twitter because it was negative a lot. People love to argue and stuff. So therapy, remaining sober, that's a big thing too for me. And then, just get offline,
No, thank you very much for sharing, because I think it's such a big thing that, everybody goes through at a certain point, so it's really good to focus on, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's now come over to this gentleman.
Do you prefer digital or classic, like pen or paper with your art?
Digital is a different. Do you mean illustration specifically? Okay, all right. Because if you're saying digital and it's like 3D sculpture and like CAD and like but illustration, digital.
Really? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It's so easy to undo and to resize.
Yeah, but also there's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the aesthetic that can be achieved through traditional art. But the style variance umbrella in digital art is much wider and is something I'm personally drawn to.
And you could turn it into an NFT.
True.
Don't turn it into an NFT.
No. I don't know. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I don't really use digital anything, so it's all, if I do sketch, it's on paper.
Yeah.
If I do a mock-up, maquette sculpture, it's always physical. So my answer is physical media, just because that's all I use, really.
Yeah.
But I do want to try virtual sculpting, because that would be really interesting.
Yes, you should.
I've never been able to hit the undo button on a carving, or a sculpture.
It's just like clay.
Yeah.
It's good.
I want to try it. You've inspired me to try it.
Trying to get him into it.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to play Pass the Mic down this road.
That was fantastic point of view. No one to where to go.
They're only dreaming.
That was.
We nailed it.
Yeah. We should start a band.
Yeah.
Do you actually play an instrument?
Drums.
Me too. We should start a band where we both play drums.
Dueling
That would
drums.
be the best band ever.
You have a set?
Yeah.
Dude, me too.
TD20 digital.
Okay, see, I have the
'Cause you could
acoustic.
turn the volume down.
I got a Thomas Star Classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, we've talked about drums.
I think so.
I really want an acoustic kit. That's like
I actually would prefer it. Sorry.
someone was going to ask a question
Yeah.
about drums.
This is specifically for Jazza. What made you, with Gate Crashers, want to make a board game?
What made me want to make a board game?
Yeah.
Loving board games. Also, like, okay, I say that I'm not like a board gamer. I'm not like, I don't have a huge experience of playing lots of board games, but I have this huge chunk of nostalgia in my past of like Warhammer and 40K. There are things that I love that I've been obsessed with, right? Rather than like board gaming and being super like experienced in all of it, I'm more like, I was obsessed with Warhammer. I was obsessed with Dota 2. I was obsessed with like these chunks, right? So, and I also used to be a game developer for like Flash games online. So I have this experience of like, I loved game development, and there's like this coalition of all these things where like, well, it's got bits of making games, game development and production that I love doing. And the game Gate Crash is sort of like, they're very characteristically inspired by things like Warcraft and 40K, but also as a game in gameplay, somewhere between a board game and like Dota 2. Like it's like a, you know, battle royale thing. So it's just sort of taking all my favorite bits and cramming them in one activity that I want to turn into something to share with people. Yeah. Hope that answers your question.
What's your favorite Pokemon and why?
Good question.
I'd probably say Mewtwo, just because of those thighs. Those big, giant purple thighs.
Wow, amazing.
How about that?
That was good. That was good. I'm tempted to cop out and say Ditto, which is all of them.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so old school
Like
and lame.
Snorlax and...
I mean, I just go to Pikachu, which is I'm sorry.
Okay,
there are so many more Pokemon than Pikachu.
Does Pikachu have a black tip of the end of the tail?
Yes. No, yes, brown. It's brown. Why are
yellow.
you asking me this?
It's yellow.
What?
You're not a real fan.
Oh my God! No! Are you kidding me?
Wait, am I right?
No, it's brown.
It's yellow, right? Yeah, everyone. It's like
It's
one
got
of
a
those
brown
like,
thing. Is it at the base of the tail?
No, it's just black. It's yellow all the way down.
You're a liar.
I think so.
Are
Is it
you
not?
kidding me?
Am I wrong?
I feel that I literally.
It's yellow, right?
It's got a brown bottom of the tail.
Is the end
That's
brown?
brown right
Wait,
there.
wait.
Look at that. That's not shadow. That's brown.
Oh.
I'm not a crazy
Okay.
person.
Okay. Well, okay.
That's brown.
It looks yellow. It looks like a shadow to me.
It's like
It's got an ombre. Okay.
we're all right. I did sculpt. I did. This is a confession, outing myself as not a true Pokemon fan. I sculpted like a fight club style fight between Pikachu and Machamp Pokemon.
Chomp and Chewy Chomp.
Yeah, that one. And I forgot to paint the ends of Pikachu's ears black. And we filmed the reveals and everything. It was like we smoke machine and did the reveals.
And then you realize.
And we finished the video. I went to my editor and I'm like, I forgot the ears.
Did you digitally?
You need to do it again. Like, because I'm like, I can't release that.
Because
Are you kidding me?
people would be horrified.
Yeah, but I've
You get it
already
wrong.
just horrified everyone.
Let's say
by
you could
telling
have
them.
like just tracked in some.
could have faked it. Yeah.
Faked it. People were like,
Done the
"Wait a
overlay and
second.
motion.
It's not
tracked it.
aligning perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have actually been kind of funny.
Yeah, if it's like walking
Yeah.
around it.
I've got to say, what a great question. I mean, that one question's like taking up about 5-7 minutes of the talk. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we got some
right.
up front.
Let's move down the front. Yeah, let's see these guys. Let's kick off down here. And then we'll come to you in green.
Are you ever going to do like a Star Wars battle, like the Battle of Hoth or something?
Ooh. I hate to disappoint you. Probably not.
No.
I like Star Wars. I don't love Star Wars.
Wait,
I never said that out loud. I
but
shouldn't say
Star
it out loud.
Wars is there's a very big defining
uh,
line between the original
Yeah.
Star Wars
Do you know what?
and the newer Star Wars.
Yeah, I like sci-fi stuff, but I don't love sci-fi stuff personally. So I'm a big medieval nut.
Yeah.
Like and like even
Like
Warhammer
fantasy
40K is
versus
more like
sci-fi.
science fantasy than science
Right.
fiction. It's so bombastic and ridiculous with big chains.
What about
swords, and
romantasy?
That's for alone quiet time. That's
That's personal.
I don't share that.
breathing.
We're not talking about that here.
Yeah.
That's just for me.
Romantasy.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Ah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The pain in your face.
Star Wars is cool. I like Star Wars.
What's
Yeah.
the
You've just won everyone over, and I've just lost him. I don't know what Pikachu's color is, and I don't like Star Wars. What is wrong
Sorry.
with me?
No, I'll stop. I won't ask you.
I'm sorry.
What's the most challenging piece of art that you've made so far?
It's a very good question.
You want me to go?
Yes, please.
I know it. It would be I made a sculpture that looks like rainbow splashing with a bucket, like two hands on a bucket. And imagine it's splashing water and it's frozen in time, right in mid-splash, but the splash is made out of like thousands of colored pencil segments, not just randomly placed, but actually placed intentionally to create a pattern of color and rainbow. That took a long time. It was also complicated because I had to create a negative mold to put the pencils on, so I didn't just have full-length pencils. So I had to think in the negative space of that as well.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
hands are hard.
Yeah.
So, and carving, you can't put wood back on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wood. So it's like you take off too much and that's just gone. So I had to do 2 oversized hands holding the bucket. And anyways, that was probably my most
It
complicated.
turned out amazing, though.
Thanks.
So good.
Until it smashed on the ground and broke. Did you guys see that? Yeah. Yeah. But I fixed it, sort of. I changed it into something different.
Yeah. Okay, my answer's kind of 2, because there's like the hardest in terms of like emotionally pushing through for me was like bead art. Anything that requires patience and is small, like 3 days of organizing small color things. No, I hate it.
Oh man, I love that.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh.
The more tiny and time-consuming, and the more absorbed my intention is into something super whatever. Yeah, that's where I like everything disappears.
Really?
I get to super focus.
If it's something I can't rush, I really struggle with it.
See,
So because if you try and speed up with the beads, they sort of spill with it, and I have
revel in
big
tedium.
thick fingers. Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
I should look
That's the
into it
only
more.
aspect of my life, really, other than bonsai, because I grow bonsai trees. Yeah, I saw you did a video about that too.
I did, and I tried to get into it, and I killed my bonsai trees.
Oh no!
Ironically, one of the times I came to England, because I forgot they need water. So
Yeah, there's the whole
they're
horticultural
living
aspect of
things.
bonsai.
Yeah. No, but anyways, the other answer would be, I guess, physically, would be that sand sculpting video, because it was 10 tons of sand, compressed sand. And I had this bright idea of like, because I removed so much material on either side of Thanos' head, and he didn't have his right arm, I was like, I'll just move all this sand over there and try and pack it down. And it was a 3-day effort. The whole second day was me shoveling probably 5 tons of sand.
And no one can help you?
No,
Is
no, it's just me. Yeah, that's the rule. Yeah.
those
So I'm
are
like
the rules.
shoveling it and stomping it down and trying to support it within the thing.
Oh my
And
God.
because I was so engrossed in the process, you can sort of ignore your body.
Yeah.
But after the 3 days, I couldn't move.
Oh, yeah.
I was like in so much
Get
physical
get
pain.
Your exercise.
Also, now I'm jacked. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Moving
This is the
sand.
question.
Right, we're going to do one more on this side, then we're going to head on over there. We don't want to neglect everybody at that side.
I'll tell him.
We wanted to neglect everybody on that side.
On your way there, there's
We're
someone right
joking.
there.
We should move over here.
Right now?
I'll move over here. Hey, guys. So I just realized we have wireless
hard to talk.
mics.
Wait, where are you?
How much money?
Okay.
How much money did you spend on the gold?
Actually, not that much because it's so thin. It's like, I don't even know how many microns thin it is, and incredibly thin. Gold has this amazing ability to be opaque even when it is thinner than a human hair, thinner than a sheet of paper. It's like only a few atoms thick, I mean, it's unbelievably thin. So really, if you were to ball it all up and weigh it, it would be a microgram or something. It's incredibly small. So I think total gold, actual gold, it was like maybe $30, $40 or something like that. So surprisingly little. It's just a very thin layer. But yeah, I'm glad you saw. That was what I did with that sculpture that broke, is I ended up turning it into a hanging installation. I incorporated the broken part into
Part of the art.
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
it's like Banksy's like torn
Yeah,
like picture
or
the shredded.
kintsugi,
Yeah.
where you
yes.
put the gold in the cracks
Yes.
of the broken
Beautiful
thing.
perfection.
Yeah, accentuate the flaws.
Yes.
You know, work with what you got.
Yep.
It's a metaphor on life as well. You
Yeah.
know, it's all you got is yourself.
This feels way more official.
I was going to say, I feel like the
Yeah, it's
stakes
nice.
have considerably
Also,
risen here.
In,
Well,
gray,
there's a- I
in gray
didn't-
on the corner has been
Gray
waiting
on the
for a
corner,
while.
you're on my
We
roots.
could make sure the camera person's awake. You stay
That's
there.
it. Yeah, just keep it mixing it up.
You're on the switcher? Yeah? Okay.
Right on the corner.
Jazza.
Yes.
Can I give a picture to you?
Pardon?
Can I give this
Yes,
to
you can. Thank you so much. Oh, look at that.
Very
Round of applause. What's your
nice.
name? What's your name?
Arthur.
Thank you so much, Arthur. I'll have to get you to sign. Do
That's-
you have a pen?
Wow, I can tell that's
Do you have a pen?
Jazza. That's awesome.
I want you to sign it.
Oh yeah, you got to sign your work.
I got a Sharpie. I'll get a Sharpie. I think I'll get a
Wait,
Sorry.
I think I have one. I got one.
You have one?
Yeah, I got a Sharpie.
That's it. If you're going to sign something, you got to do it with a Sharpie, right? It's
I got one.
Well, you say that. I forgot a Sharpie
I got one.
yesterday.
I
The
got
only
one.
reason I have a...
Oh, you.
I want your Sharpie. I just want to have my Sharpie on me.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, do you have a signature yet? You got to do your artist signature. This is you could invent it now if you want. No pressure. We're just judging.
Did you take
this
my
is all on
Sharpie?
record.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Did you take my Sharpie? Did you take it from me?
No, it's his now. Did I?
Wait.
Do you have?
How did I?
No, that's
It's true,
mine.
No one knows what's going
We
on.
summoned a
Did I
Sharpie.
give
Give
him
you
Well,
Sharpie.
Did I give him a Sharpie?
now there are 3.
I don't know where this one came from.
It's
but
like
I,
a magic
I
show.
have 2. Okay, sweet.
Everybody, let's give a big round of applause for
Oh,
Arthur,
thank
though,
you.
and his piece of art. Lovely. Watch out for Arthur. Could be the next big thing right here. Right, we are now on this side of the room.
Jazza,
Hello.
Jazza.
are you going to do any more needle felting?
What?
He's not paying attention.
Wait, what? Me?
Aha! Yeah, now we're. Sorry, what was the question?
Are you going to do any more needle felting?
Needle felting. I should do, shouldn't I? The problem is, I struggle to do the same thing twice. I don't know if you've noticed that. Usually, if I do something a second time, I do it absurdly bigger than I did it the first time. So if I did needle felting again, I know I've done needle felting twice. I did needle felting when I was like, oh, I try needle felting, and I made Pikachu with a prominent butt. Felt it. That's why I think there's brown on his tail,
Right.
because I felted a little bit of brown in his butt.
He doesn't wipe very well.
No. The second time I needle felted my face, the size of my face. So it was again taking it a bit bigger. So I think if I did it again, maybe I should needle felt a life-size Bobby Duke, so I can have. And it works because they're so tough.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. And then you
Tufted.
could sort of incorporate and tuft in like long, elegant strands of hair.
You could use my hair to felt into me.
If you would donate your hair, I would tuft.
Well,
I would tuft you.
I actually
100%.
have plans for my hair, but I might be able to spare some of it.
All right. I'll take what I can
I was
get.
going to learn how to... Well, I actually don't want to give it away.
Okay.
Say it's for a future art project.
Okay. Cool.
Right next up, over here.
I don't think we answered your question.
Sorry, hiya. So Bobby specifically, why did you choose to add humor into your videos? Because it started from just your little sculptures, and then you went into more full action scenes. What made you make that move from just sculpture to humor?
Well, I decided to just sort of make it fun for me, because it's way more fun to have fun while you're making something. And I also wanted to sort of make my videos appealing to people that may not also just be artists or be already into art. I wanted to wrap the art education in entertainment and humor so that more people would be exposed to it. They can get what I get out of it too, because it's such a huge, amazing part of my life that I get to experience, and I get so much joy and pleasure out of creating that I want other people to possibly access that hidden talent that they have and see if it's something that helps them the same way as it does me. So it's also just more fun, you know?
It's just occurring to me that there's like an interesting under the surface layer to that happening, because I think I've seen plenty of channels that do art and sculpture that are serious.
Right.
And they're impressive and they're very cool, but it actually doesn't feel approachable. I think they're amazing if you are into it already and you feel like you've found this validating, authoritative, serious place where you can sort of feel serious about this thing you take seriously.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into things, it's really scary to see people who are serious about this thing and good at it. But if you see people who are pretty good at some stuff and they're also not taking themselves very seriously,
right,
it gives viewers permission to not feel like they have to be so serious about it to try something.
Yeah, and there's totally a place for the more serious, because like when I go and watch a video and I want to learn how to repair my sink, and this guy goes on and makes jokes and like totally like doesn't get to the point.
Yeah.
You know? But so I can see like also, I also watch videos where people are just do the art. You know, watch just amazing talent on display.
Yeah.
But I also prefer a little more entertainment.
Yeah, a bit of zest
as well.
So I sprinkle us.
I create what I like to consume as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen the humor all day today. It's just in there. It's natural. It comes to you. You can't restrain that.
Yeah, well, I'm just a goofball. Yeah. I also have daughters, so it's like I'm constantly trying to make them
Gotta be
laugh.
goofy dad.
Yeah. Make them roll their eyes.
Yeah, that's it. It's cringe. Being a cringe parent is so fun.
I know.
Especially when they learn the word cringe.
Yes.
And they're like, you're cringe. And you're like, whoa.
I'm not even joking. I have them watch a part. I'm like, let's see their reaction to just see how, if the part of the video is okay.
Yeah.
And if I can get them to laugh when they're like trying not to, and then also go, oh, Dad, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're, you know, that kind of thing.
My wife and I were having this conversation with our son 2 days ago. We were like, do you know what Riz means? Do you Can you tell what's no cap? And he knows this stuff. He's 10 years old.
Exceptional Riz.
And we're like discussing, and he's like, just stop it. And we're like,
it's giving Riz.
yeah, it's like, am I Riz? And he's like, no.
I think you're more Fleet.
And his mum's like, am
Fleet
I Riz?
even
And
still a
he's like,
thing?
yes. And I'm like, why is she Riz? Why am I not Riz enough? No,
Oh yeah, it's Riz, not Wiz. I was saying Wiz.
Wiz.
Yeah, I'm 43.
Yeah.
Almost.
What?
Hi.
Hi.
I grew up watching like your character creation videos.
Oh, cool.
And it inspired me to go to university for concept art.
Yes.
I'm going into my 3rd year in September, and
Thank
I need
you.
help with idea generation because it will be me making my own brief for the entire year.
Yeah.
So help with idea generation or motivation
Pressure.
throughout the whole year. Yeah, the pressure is
You
high.
just right now, come up with something to base your entire last year of university on.
What?
Are you sure you want me to do that? How long did you think about this question before you
Think about it the whole time.
So what are the parameters of the task?
It's literally just make your own brief, and then
Make your own
every
brief.
single week you have to document what you're doing
Okay.
throughout the year.
I mean, if I can only think for me. So like being serious, like if I were in that position, and the course is what, sorry? Like
Concept art.
concept art.
Yeah.
So I would pick, I think the purpose of concept art, like we use it all the time in the studio. I'm doing a project right now where like I wrote a novel, and our artist, we work like 2 to 3 days a week on, we're working on an art edition of my novel, and most of the art is concept art. Because like I don't know 100% what it looks like yet. I wrote the book, right? Yeah. But I have this artist, and I'm like, we'll do the characters first. And I was like, what does this facility look like? What are like at first, like it feels a bit like too familiar. And now like I have this source of inspiration. I'm like, oh, I want it to feel like brutalism, like intergalactic brutalism. You know, that really bold, strong, hard edges, vast structures, minimalistic design, that sort of thing. So like that, we sort of work into the conversation, and then we'll end up with a few dozen final pieces. So in your position, you pick a project, because the purpose of concept art is to create a clear path to a concise outcome. Mm-hmm. And it might be art for a book, it might be a game, a video game, a movie, set design, characters for a TV show. So like, if you're working on it for a year, pick something you love. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite TV show? What's your favorite video game? What's the thing that inspires you, so that you can set yourself this runway and know that you'll be going to sleep thinking, ooh, what about this? Ooh, what about that? And then you'll get up and you'll be like, oh, I'm going to do this and that. Because you're going to want to experiment, and that's the job as the concept artist, is to be the spices and flavor things until you find the right combination for the recipe. I hope that helps.
Repeat that back, just to make sure you got
You
it.
should have written that down because that was work.
Oh, you got it recorded. That's actually a great idea. I was thinking, man, you should record
Okay,
this.
so I didn't give you what to do, but I hope I helped you find the way to pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Are you guys ever going to do a collab?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now. All right. Hey, g'day everyone. I'm Jazza, and it's finally time for a collab with Bobby Duke.
Good day.
Here is a giant industrial wood cutting machine.
Okay.
Ready? Go!
It's done.
Wow!
Oh, wait, you have to do something to it. That's the collab. Yay!
I made it disappear.
Yeah.
No, sorry, okay. In answer to your question, we absolutely want to do a collab.
Yeah.
We were talking about a few ideas before.
Literally right before this.
Yeah. It's one of the challenges is because one of the ways, like when you collab with another content creator, you need to find the ways that your content is in harmony and sort of use that overlap so that both of your audiences are engaged and you can share each other's audiences and make content that fits on your own channel. Sculpture is something we're both really passionate about.
Yeah.
Also a bit tricky to do.
I can't draw like you, so it's like you can actually sculpt at my level, so
but like
that makes more sense.
Yeah, and like the way, I think there are things that we can bring that are individual,
Right.
but then there are things that we share that will make the collab work really well.
Right,
Right.
and he mentioned it's hard to do a collab video because you don't want both videos to be the same.
Yeah.
Because even just two different points of view is sometimes a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Plus you want to cross-pollinate channels
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah,
other
you want to
stuff.
do it in a way that people have to see the other video.
Right. So
we
have
also want to.
ideas.
We both individually want to release videos on our channel that perform well because we're running it's our livelihood.
Right.
So it's a process of like we'll chat about like what's going to work and what we want to do. There are some ideas that sound really cool, but it's like how do we put that into a thumbnail and title? How do we send people to? So we're definitely discussing it.
It's going to happen.
100%. But one of the
honestly,
challenges with
we've been
sculpture is like,
talking
how do
about
we
it.
swap sculptures?
Yeah.
Do we do it in person? Do we mail something? Do we,
Right.
So it's definitely bubbling.
And I
brewing.
think we started talking about it like years ago.
Yeah.
And then it's just schedules.
We actually
and-
first started talking about, I remember the phone call was just before COVID
Yes,
lockdown.
I was actually
Yeah.
about to buy a ticket to Australia.
Mhm.
And then COVID happened
Yeah.
and then ruined everything.
Exactly. So, but we've been, destiny
Yes.
will have us
I
collect.
think it'll be even better now.
100% because of your question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good question.
Hey, both. Failure is always part of a creator's journey. For each of you, what was your worst failure and how did you creatively overcome it?
That is a really good question.
I wouldn't call them failures, more just like temporary setbacks. Because you can always overcome. It's never, I consider it a failure if you don't keep going. So I've never completely stopped. I've just found a way to either incorporate a flaw or redo and go around and stuff. But if I were to say, I mean, breaking the sculpture right after I'm done it is, I would consider kind of a failure. But in the end, I was able to reimagine it and turn it into something totally different. So it just depends on your point of view on what do you do with the failure. And so, I don't know. that's
Also,
kind of
stuff failing in content is often the best performing
yes,
content.
it's drama.
So it's hard to consider it a failure when the failure is like a fantastically
Yes.
well-performing video.
Sometimes you don't want it to happen, but when it does, you're
Yeah.
like, all right,
If
there's
you
the
can have a
drama.
thumbnail that you've earned going like this in,
Yeah.
100%.
In the thumbnail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just
oh,
like,
how am
I
gonna-"
can't believe I
Right.
did this, or
And then a
resin,
red circle
you know.
with an arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
So
Or that face.
that's it. You do that well. That's good.
I actually don't do that much.
Or the Mr. Beast.
So we need to squeeze in one final question very quickly. Final question coming over here.
Please. Sorry.
Hello. So I'm asking kind of as a bit of a cringe question from a parent.
You say cringe?
And it's as a parent of a maker, how do you how do you deal? There's so many different options for things you can make. How do you deal with having lots of final products and then all the things that didn't quite work out, and also the equipment that you acquire along the way, especially since you kind of said earlier about not liking to try things twice. There's a lot of stuff you can kind of accumulate without.
I can hear
stuff.
the layers of this question.
Yeah.
Now, the wonderful thing about creativity is it thrives in boundaries. So, like, I still feel like I don't get every toy I want to use to make with. I have so many more toys and mediums than most people have to create with. But yeah, like, I don't know where I'm going with my answer.
I don't know. I don't have boundaries, and I have just like crap everywhere. So like my garage is completely destroyed. I've got resins here in this corner, and then drill bits, and then stuff in everywhere. And I like having stuff out and visible, because if I don't, then I have literally an entire drawer full of flathead screwdrivers.
This is a hard question, because you're asking the question
and I
to
have
the two
closets
people
full of
who have
past
become
projects.
extremely irresponsible adults who do and get away with using every medium with reckless abandon.
Right. Yes.
I employ people to clean up after me. My job is to walk into a room, go, and walk out. And it's someone else's full day's work to be like, oh, he painted with super soakers today.
And I don't have someone to pay, so that's why it's just messy. So yeah, and like Jazza, I love switching it up, because I get really bored very quickly with one thing. Now, it would be easier just to hone in and just perfect one thing, but part of the reason it's so exciting and fun to do what we do is being able to learn something new and use a new medium, and it's a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. The end. Thank you.
Wasn't as good as the original. I'm so sorry.
And on that note, I mean,
I feel like we need to answer the question. I'm so sorry.
Oh wait,
we're not helping.
Okay,
what
sorry.
she's saying is, what if my child wants to play trumpet today, clarinet tomorrow, drums on Thursday, timpani on Friday, doesn't like music on Saturday,
should you rein them in or let them
and
do
wants
it
to
all?
be a composer on Sunday? How do you encourage those impulses and allow someone's creativity to flourish while also being a real person with a real bank account and life commitments and an understanding of reality?
Dang, that was really good.
Does that wraps up the question? I have no idea. No, I'm just, having been that child, I think you kind of make your way. Like, the creative muscle is as ingrained in every individual medium as it is in the concept itself. So being creative and figuring out how to draw with a stick that you put in the fire and turn to charcoal, and now that makes marks, is its own kind of creativity. So I think it's important to encourage that stuff, and of course, like, within reason, get some stuff. But I can also say that the expensive art materials and having all of the things isn't super important. Having enough to freely explore and blend those creative impulses is important. So, but that doesn't have to be expensive. And there are really affordable ways to, like, really explore creatively. Thrift shops are an amazing asset.
A chunk
creatively.
of wood
buy thrift
in a
shop
strap
paints. They're $10 or what less, and like some cheap like oil paints, and just go ham, like sculpting. Monster clay is fantastic for sculpture because it's reusable, but at room temperature, it feels like it's hard and it can last for years. I have monster clay sculptures that have stood for like 8 years untouched. So there are ways like to be creative with creativity and multiple mediums.
With less.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, you can take a
with
rock.
a stick.
You can take a
and
rock
a knife.
out of the river and a belt sander, and I used to take free little terracotta pots that I found under my house. That it was a pier and beam house, and I would go to the curb where it had a concrete corner and rub those against and create flower patterns and intricate patterns all over these terracotta pots. It's finding ways to create art with less is a form of creativity. So,
I feel like we haven't helped your son feel like, because I think you're feeling that walking around here, right? Right?
Yeah, it's endless.
My wife feels that too, just so you know. We're on the phone yesterday, she's like, I can see you've been buying her a few things. And I'm like, yeah, I've been buying a few things.
Well, talking of parenting, I now have to be that parent, unfortunately, where I have to, unfortunately, call time. Guys, it has been so, so good. We could talk to
Thank you. Yeah, sorry,
for absolutely forever.
Oh.
They're going to create a band. They're going to make a reality TV show. It's going to happen. We want everybody to go absolutely wild. As I say, it's Bobby Duke and Jazza.
Hey!
And then we're going to do the...